going on, everybody? Welcome back to Guys on Sports. We are back. Our friend Jay. What do you want?
Jay,
you want to go by
welcome.
Jay? You want your last name out there?
I think he worked on some kind of nickname.
You got a nickname for us, Jay?
Jay Sneeve.
Well, at work, I'm going by the final boss.
The final. Okay. So Jay.
Jay's good. It's in the alphabet. People remember it.
Jay's here taking Mark's place for today, who unfortunately couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Rocky's here. Last week, we talked about some of our favorite landing spots after the NFL draft. This week, we're going to focus more specifically on the wide receiver position. So the boys each have a few names they're going to throw out there and tell you why they like them and their landing spots so much. But before we do that, how you guys doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Doing great.
Wow, thank you for elaborating. How you doing, Jay?
I'm adequate.
You're adequate?
Had
Yeah.
a decent weekend, but
Let me ask you a question because Jay and I learned about second level questions, right, to get to know people better.
got to go second layer.
Yeah. So
Wow.
let me ask you, what was the
What's
highlight?
the first layer?
What was the highlight of your day?
Well, the first
Today?
layer is like how you doing.
Yeah.
The highlight of my day.
See, it's making him think. It's conversation. Jay, it's working.
Am I going to answer or are you going to?
I mean, I was trying to give you some time.
I
'cause
get strange looks at work about that.
Yeah.
What? How was your day?
What's the highlight of your day?
Yeah, because like a first level question is,
I mean-
hey, where do you work? Where'd you grow up? You know, that kind of stuff.
Like surface level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite color.
Yeah, so
Kinda thing.
deeper. Although color is
So you work with kids, right?
Essentially.
I mean, I don't
Essentially.
know. Kids.
Well, what I'm saying is, I feel like this generation, they're not so good with the talking to each other stuff.
No,
so asking a question
they would
like
rather
that.
text it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
back to you later.
Well, and the thing is, like, in your mind, you're always one of them, but you're not.
So deeper. What are you talking about?
Because, you know, we're older. So, like, we think, oh, yeah, we're not that far apart.
Speak for yourself.
But, I mean, you're older, man. You just told me. You hit
Well,
your
yeah,
big
but I
4-0.
don't think I'm their age. You know, like
You don't work
do.
around it.
You don't work around.
Huh?
You hear the vernacular. I hear my daughter's vernacular.
Yeah.
I say bad.
I have
or
a
say
17-year-old
status.
daughter and two 16-year-olds in my house.
They don't count.
Yeah,
No.
you don't work
All right,
around
that's
them. Maybe for good reason. I don't know.
Wow.
My
You were a
kids are
little bit
better.
harsh, if I
Hey.
remember right. You were tough.
I wasn't tough. It was just everybody's. It's kind of what it is, really.
Well,
Anyway, so
that
best
5
part of
minutes?
my day.
is that 5 minutes?
Yeah. No, I'll probably have to believe that. The best part of my day was probably, it's lame, walking into my house, seeing my son. That's
Yeah,
about it.
no. PJ, little PJ.
Not the girls.
Huh? They weren't home. They were at school.
Yeah, I mean, there's a clear,
What were your kids
I'm
doing?
saying you got to clarify that part.
well, there's a clear pecking order in the Pasquale household.
Do you think so?
I mean, I think it's hard. You know, you were waiting a long time for the son. You know, it carries on the name. You know, it's a little bit.
You're projecting.
No, I'm saying there's a little bit of like, hey, it's my PJ. Hey, PJ. You know.
Have you
guess.
found the real dad?
Excuse me?
Have you found the real dad?
No.
You just okay.
No, not yet. But PJ is, I mean, he's the baby. The baby always gets the attention when they're a baby. I know it's been like 2 decades since you had one, but it's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, it's been a little bit longer than 2 decades.
So what's up? You all good?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into it. We're going to start with Rocky today. So Rocky, I want you to give me a name of a dude. I want you to tell me where he went for anybody that for some reason doesn't know. But we do have our fantasy players that maybe drop it a little later, aren't like locked in to the draft. So where'd he go and why you like the fit so much?
Well, and let me got to start by saying, because there's some haters out there sometimes. You have to understand the context of this. This is guys that were just drafted a week, maybe 10 days ago. We like the initial fit. It could change during training camp. It could change if there's a trade. This is right now, 10 days after the draft.
A lot of qualifying.
Yeah, because, you're going to have somebody, hey,
hate those,
or they're going to come back 6 months from now when the Browns make a trade and say, I can't believe you said that guy was going to be good. It's out of context. So
You got to stand by your guy, Rock.
my first guy, though, and this I feel pretty good about, drafted 8th overall to the Carolina Panthers, Tetaroa McMillan.
Tits.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Tits
what you like to
McMillan.
describe him as.
That's
yeah.
what we're calling him. That's the show name for him.
I would prefer his Christian name, Tetaroa.
I like Tits.
But anyways, I love his landing spot with the Panthers. I think this is a guy has everything you want. 6'5", 212 pounds.
Whoa.
Adequate speed. Great red zone threat. I think he has a chance to develop along with Bryce Young. They have Xavier Legette, who's pretty decent. They've got a decent tight end in Javion Sanders. Both of those guys are good, but I think they drafted Tetaroa at number 8 for a reason. He is going to be the clear number 1. And if you looked at how Carolina developed last year, the last 6-7 games, they were really putting it together. They were pretty creative offensively, and they were doing it with a lot of secondary receivers. So I think Tetaroa is going to have a great year and a great fit.
Hey, Rock, anything special in that coffee? Because you're
Slurring
a little bit all over the place. You okay?
To be fair, last night was Cinco de Mayo.
That's true.
And
It's a big
as
thing
we
in
know, my
the
wife
Stefano
is Mexican,
household, yeah.
and so we...
Super Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we were celebrating into the wee hours of the noche.
Wow. So how do you feel about Tits?
He's slow.
He is slow.
A
You're
4.55.
Yeah.
So he's not going to extend the field at all.
Wait. I'm going to make a condition.
Wait, let the man finish.
Jay said
You
he's
can't
slow at 4.55.
Okay.
What do
That
you think
is-
Jay runs, a 6?
Well, he is slow.
7.6.
Come on, don't make fun. Come on, man.
This is
Rocky,
paid-
you're slow.
This is paid for.
Come on. You saw my speed in action.
Yeah, I have.
You saw I mean, you could barely get the ball to me.
Okay.
What were you guys doing?
He's talking about fantasy
No, flag football.
flag football from 10 years
We
ago.
were a
Oh, 10 years ago.
We were a powerhouse.
Yeah. You weren't fast. So,
Well, I worry that the quarterback hasn't advanced enough.
yeah.
Was he just a flash in the pan? They have no line. They brought in a lot of players
Yeah.
that have to gel. So if he does take off, I'd say second half of the year because he's a route runner. He's going to be good. But they already have a receiver that's got at least a year rapport with him. I think he'll be decent, but I don't know if he'll be number 1 right out of the first 6 games.
Well, I bet you didn't know this. As per Fantasy Points data, he ranked second in the hero throw rate.
Ooh, tell me more.
I don't know what that means, but it's probably good, right?
Yeah. He's a classic end zone guy.
Thank
Here-
you.
no, all
Thank
right.
you, Google.
All joking inside, right? Where you drafted him in your rookie draft?
Where do I draft him?
Well, yes.
So all of the leagues that we're in are dynasty leagues. And
Well, yeah.
so you're probably taking the risk on a rookie. As Jay said, it might not be until the second half
Well,
of
I'm
the year.
saying in a rookie draft. Yeah, that's what I mean. In a rookie draft.
In a rookie draft, to me, he is probably either the first or second wide receiver off the board
So, I mean,
in
overall.
of the rookies.
Overall.
So, okay, so he's definitely in my top 10, but I'm probably taking some of the running backs first. I don't even know if
Let's
there's
get
a
a number.
quarterback this year.
Let's get a number. Where is he at?
I'd probably say I'd feel really comfortable anything after 5 or 6 of taking
So
Tetaroa.
between 5 and 10?
Yeah, I'm probably taking Hampton at running back. I'm probably taking Genty. I'm big on Quinchon Junkins this year. Probably taking him. You might have Trevion in your top 5. Maybe Cam Ward if we feel like he's going to be a good first-year quarterback. But, yeah, anything after 5 and on, I feel pretty good about getting
You
him.
agree, or you think he's a
8
little
to
later?
12. 8 to 12.
8 to 12 feels about right. Yeah. I like that. I don't know, man.
Oh, but
5 is pretty
yeah.
high. Pushing it a little bit.
I mean, I think we've all seen how much of
Running backs are so deep, you might
There's a lot of them.
take one and then
Yeah.
be able to get another one later on. And
Which running backs are high for you? I know we'll probably talk about this in another episode. but
Probably.
Just like, are those 3 that I mentioned, those 4 I mentioned, are they?
I mean, Genty right out the gates getting the ball,
Yeah.
so he's got to get you stats
I think Genty's a 1-1.
right
Yeah.
off the bat.
Across
Hampton
the board,
is in a
right?
divided
Yeah.
backfield. That's a little scary with Najee.
I love Judkins, but why did they draft Tennessee running back 2 rounds later?
Thunder and lightning, baby.
But they signed Ford.
Yeah.
They
To a
told- they
reduced
said-
contract.
They said they'd bring Chubbs back. I don't think that's gonna happen now.
Chubbs.
I think if you can get a Chubb, you get a Chubb.
Get a Chubb. Yeah, I'm with that. All right, so who's your guy
I was looking at Jalen Royals,
in the Royals? Okay.
Old
Kansas
Jalen.
City Chiefs. Obviously, they already got a quarterback.
Who's his quarterback?
Mahomes.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Starting to make his mark in the league. If
Heard
you
of
will.
him.
I went to Utah State, 4.42. Great hands, route runner. I think with no Kelsey, that's going to open up so many different balls to the receivers.
Is Kelsey officially
Retired.
retired?
I don't think he's officially, but I think, has he?
I thought he did.
You know what? I'll check
Oh,
real
yeah,
quick.
you check on
I'm
it.
going to check because that's going to be bad if he's not.
Jalen Royals.
Not like we haven't done that before.
Jalen Royals, 6 foot, 205, 22. I thought he was a little bit younger than that. So,
I mean, Worthy's their guy for deep. So this guy should be able to be the route runner, get the underneaths. Hollywood Brown, he's just a name. I looked into his stats. He doesn't have many catches at all for most of his season.
yeah, he was hurt most of last year. I do worry about the Worthy, Rice, Hollywood.
Worthy looked good
Juju,
last
they
year.
re-signed.
I think Juju's could be washed up.
I think Juju is washed up,
But he has a role.
but could Royals? Because
Could Royals take that role?
yeah,
I don't
and this
know.
is where I agree with Jay. What you love about Royals is that he has something none of the other receivers has. None of them have that size.
Yep.
They're all a little bit shorter. Good receivers. Jason Kelsey retired in 2024, not Travis. So Travis is still around.
Yeah, but he's fish flubbing.
He's 30-something, 36.
He's old. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is probably his last season.
Yeah. So I had Royals on my short list. I do think that there's a potential, and I think that they always seem to have wide receivers get injured real quick.
That's
So,
true. I mean, you got Rice coming back from injury, Hollywood as well. I mean, it's interesting. I don't think it's. So, would you have him behind Tits?
Tetaroa.
I think he's got a better quarterback. I think he'll have similar stats.
So you think they'll be? So you think
The volume.
the quarterback play kind of closes the gap with the role?
Yeah, and Kansas City's running game's not spectacular at all.
I think that's a hot take.
So they're not.
It's our first hot take today.
They're not going to be running the ball like the Panthers would probably want to, because Panthers are going to need to run to set up play action to buy time for the receivers and buy Bryce Young better time because he's got the worst offensive line.
He does
The
have pretty
Chiefs
bad
worked on their
offensive line.
offensive line.
And he's probably the second shortest quarterback in the league.
The Chiefs took the stud from Ohio State, who is injured, but halfway through the year, when he comes off the PUP list, if he does, he's going to be a stud for him.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a good point. Yes, yeah.
All right, Rock. Who you got next? Move that mic a little bit closer.
Second
low.
rookie that I like, kind of the
scared.
placement of where they ended up, was a round 3 draft pick, 69th pick overall to the New England Patriots, and that is Kyle Williams. To me, he's a big riser, and I think it's mostly because that is a very – I don't know who the lead receiver in New England is.
Mm-hmm.
They did bring Stephon Diggs over, but I'll be honest, I think Diggs is at the end of his career.
Yeah.
Like, I think he really trended down when he was with Buffalo his last year, and then when he went to the Texans, didn't look like himself at all. To me, this guy, he's a little bit undersized, 5'10", about 182 pounds, but he does have speed. He does run a really good route. He is an intelligent wide receiver, and I think, again, he's going to get the chance to develop with Drake May. And I think Vrabel is an amazing coach. I think he's a guy that's going to figure out what works on his offense. So,
Yeah, Kyle Williams. Yeah, so Diggs, I mean, I do think he's washed up. Receivers that age, coming off that kind of injury, and a guy like Diggs who has stuff off the field going on, worries me a little bit about, I think he'll be back. I don't know if he's ever going to be the guy he was. I think you have to be really dedicated. And like I said, I think he has too many interests off the field. The thing I don't worry about with the Patriots is the wide receiver room. They have a lot of guys in there,
yeah,
and a lot of guys that have potential, but nobody that's really
stepped up.
kind of made their mark. I do think the kid they drafted, Jalen Polk, last year, flashed a little bit, but I don't really see there being a guy that's like the guy. The running game is what worries me the most. Because when Vrabel was in Tennessee, and we talked about this last week, why we like their offense for the running backs is that they're going to want to possess the ball, play defense, cold weather team, you get into the second half of the season, going to your fantasy playoffs. How much are they going to be throwing the ball really? Are they going to be focused on that? And if he's second or third on the pecking order, is he really going to be viable? Down the line, maybe, but even in that offense, you needed a dominant wide receiver like A.J. Brown to kind of break through and a bunch of nothing everywhere else. So that would worry me a little bit about him. I don't know what you think.
Vrabel first down is a run play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Every first down he will have, he's going to run the ball the first time.
And with Ramondre and Trevion, I think it is a good 1-2 punch. The thing that Kyle reminds me of, if there's a guy that could possibly be this year's Ladd McConkey, it's Kyle Williams. He's got a 4.4 speed. He had one of the actually highest vertical jumps of any wide receiver, runs a great route. I think he's a guy that he's going to be their PPR guy. He's going to be the guy that's getting the points off of a lot of receptions. So that's kind of, and again, like you said, a lot of wide receivers sometimes equal no clear number one. So I think they're looking for a number one.
They don't have a number one.
Polk look good in games.
Matt Collins, Demario Douglas, Keyshawn Boutte, Kendrick Bourne.
The one benefit, I don't know Drake's numbers off the top of my head.
Yeah. I could look
They were
them
a
up.
bad team.
Yeah.
So how many scrap fantasy points,
garbage time
points did he get that he's going to have to throw the ball?
Yeah. I mean, you can't just run in the league. They are still, at best, a slightly better team than last year. So I think they'll be playing from behind quite a bit. Their offensive line isn't great, but it's improving. I just see that they're going to have to throw some, and somebody's got to catch.
They are, yeah. You're just going to hope that he's like one of the top two targets, I think. 338 attempts last season. A lot more turnovers than I realized. 9 fumbles, 10 interceptions. It doesn't show how many lost fumbles here, but 34 sacks, to your point. That's a pretty high number. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't hate it. That was your guy, right? That was his guy. So who's your guy?
My second one.
You're going a little backwards here from the list you gave me.
Wow.
I think I know who. Yeah, I got you.
Do I have to go in order?
No, you're fine. I was just trying to bring him up as you
We
went.
have Savion Williams,
I like this pick.
6'4", 222. Packers. They went in the first round for a guy.
Yeah, they did.
And with that, first rounder, he's going to be better. But that doesn't always... To me, this guy is much better than Golden. He can play all 3 spots. In one game, he ran for a touchdown, threw for a touchdown, caught a touchdown. He can do slot, outside. He can do wildcat at his size is pretty incredible. Nobody on the Packers had more than 60 catches last year.
Yeah.
They are a run team, but Love does throw really well. So I think they can't just rely on that because they might run better because Love can do the passing. For Golden, I just think he's too small. I mean, he's under 6 foot.
I just never was impressed with Golden in any of the games that I watched him play in college. In particular, the game against Ohio State, there was a fluke play, and he got open for a decent catch. But otherwise, I think he's a guy that you look at and you're like, this guy should be the best, or he should be really good. But I've just never seen him dominate yet, So I like Williams. I think Williams is a good pick. And I think Green Bay clearly doesn't think what they've got in the room is good enough.
Yeah, you don't go 1 and 3rd on receivers.
Crazy.
If you trust what you have.
Yeah.
Well, it was
You're going to cut one of them.
Or you're going to trade one.
saying
which
You're
is
going to
what I
cut
think,
one on
yeah.
that's on the roster.
well, Watson might be done, right?
They're saying, yeah.
And then you got Reed and Dobbs. Dobbs is
When you got the other guy, Wicks, too.
Wicks, yeah, but I think
One of them's getting traded.
Dobbs is what? This is be his last year of his rookie contract.
Yeah, and he's been where he's excelled is he's been the red zone guy. He's gotten decent, except for when Watson was catching all those deep bombs.
Yeah.
Dobbs has been the most consistent red zone guy.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on Golden. Savion, I think the measurables make sense.
They compare him to Debo a lot.
They do, but here's my... I'm not as high on him. And I think, well, a guy that size, you think downfield guy, big play guy, he averages about 6 yards per reception in college. So that worries me a little bit. But is that quarterback play? Is that him? I don't know. We'll see. He's one of those guys that I could go either way on. I wouldn't be surprised if he's really good. I wouldn't be surprised if he's terrible. I probably wouldn't draft him very high unless he just kind of fell to me. But, what the hell do I know? I'm just a guy.
I like the fact they said that he can play all 3 spots. That means he has the best shot of being on the field on that team.
That's true, but then that might also mean he's not like jack of all trades, master of none.
Right. I get that.
He might suck at all of them.
He could be.
Or just be okay at
He could
them.
be 0 for 3.
Yeah, he could be.
But 1 out of 3, I'd rather.
But yeah,
take
I
that
mean,
shot.
honestly, where you could probably get him versus where you're going to have to go grab Golden in your rookie draft, I'd rather roll the dice on him.
Well, and I mean, Golden.
They don't
the
have anybody on
reason
that offense that matches him.
Golden got selected in the first round based on his 40 time, and that's really it. 4.29 speed. He was the fastest wide receiver.
Can I just say what everybody's thinking, though? I feel like they draft him in the first round as like a publicity thing.
Maybe.
That's what it felt. Did you watch it live?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seemed weird.
It felt like that. They were in Green
They
Bay.
wanted to excite the crowd.
They wanted to excite the crowd.
Everybody interrupted because they even said
Throw a
the
dagger
first
at Aaron
wide receiver
Rodgers.
taken in the first round.
Yeah.
It felt a little put on, right?
After never drafting a wide receiver when
He's
Aaron
the
Rodgers
one?
was there, they drafted, 20 in the last 3 years since Rodgers been gone. Think
Well,
about
not
it.
in the first round, but it doesn't make sense because they have a good wide receiver room.
They do.
So to spend your first round pick there,
Yeah.
it's not like he's. I think he's a guy that could hit and could not. It's not like I don't know. It's
It's like
just
they
weird.
should have said, raised the middle finger and said "F you, Rodgers" as they
Rodgers.
drafted him.
Yeah.
They did it for clout.
They kind of did, yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I love wide receivers that have all the measurables. They're the combine stars.
Long, strong.
Yeah.
Right.
Black.
But they also show it in the game. Like game film to me trumps everything. So you got, we're not talking tight ends yet, but you've got like Colston from Michigan who looks like the typical wide receiver tight end.
There you go.
But you had Harold Fannin who broke college football's single season reception record.
I'm gonna take a wild guess here.
Yeah.
Fanning,
Yeah.
drafted by the Browns.
Yeah.
I didn't know. All right, go ahead.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Quite a
Kid
take.
had 110
Quite a
receptions
take.
110 receptions last year, and his 2 best games were against Penn State and Notre Dame. Golden didn't pass the eye test.
Yeah.
The biggest game they had last year was against Ohio State in the semifinals. He looked okay.
Did it have anything to do maybe with the quarterback play? Do you think?
I don't think so because other receivers on the team caught passes, got open. Golden for his speed. I mean, there's speed, and then there's the ability to run around and get a guy open.
Gotcha.
Do a one cut. I'm not down. Golden might be great. And I think he's got growth ahead of him. He might get with the right team and really develop as a
So
true
you mean
route runner.
after this team?
No, I'm saying
okay.
Green Bay may really teach him how to run
Develop him?
routes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, anyways,
All right.
my third guy.
That's your guy. Yep.
Yeah.
your guy.
My third guy, and this is a little bit of a convoluted situation. We just got done talking about Green Bay. This was a wide receiver drafted in the second round, 34th overall. He went to a team that it was kind of like Green Bay. People were questioning, why are they doing that? They got Tank Dell. They got they got Nico Collins. They just signed Christian Kirk. Why would you go with Jaden Higgins in that second round? I like Jaden Higgins, 6'4", 217 pounds, so he's a big, strong, and pretty fast receiver. He ran a 4.47 40. I like the opportunity for him to develop with C.J. Stroud. I like the fact that Diggs is off the team, so you've already got vacated receptions. And I am uncertain about Tank Dell and his injury history, just to be honest. So whatever, because at first I was scratching my head saying, why would the Texans take another wide receiver in the second round with Nico and Tank? But then you do a little bit of background checking on Tank's injuries. Clearly they must feel uncertain.
Tank is going to miss the 2025 season, so this makes sense.
Yeah. So I didn't realize that was
Tank
the
is gonna
final.
miss.
Yeah.
He's going to miss the season.
Yeah.
Nico is often injured.
Yeah, he's good when he's on the field. They're both good when they're on the field.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think
Christian
it's a
Kirk's
pick.
good, but I like Higgins.
The biggest question mark for me is C.J. Stroud.
He had a little bit of a sophomore slump.
Which I called. Big time call.
Yeah, he
Big
did.
time call on the show.
I think he's going to rebound. I think they're a good
Meaning
team.
they had him on the damn DirecTV thing after his rookie season like he was.
But a sophomore slump still led his team to the playoffs. Still, had
Yeah,
it.
but his numbers were way down. Go look at the numbers.
winning is all that counts.
I know, but we're talking about fantasy. The winning's not all that counts on this show, okay?
His numbers go down for fantasy, yes.
That's what I call. I said
Did he still clutch? Yeah.
what I was saying last preseason is that we need to pump the brakes on C.J. Stroud being like a top 4 fantasy quarterback.
I mean,
I
I don't
said I
think
see-
his
I don't
stats
know
were
if they're
that far
saying
down.
top
either.
four.
Oh, it is.
That's
You want to
great.
look at it?
23 touchdowns
We'll look
in
at it.
2023.
23 touchdowns is a joke. Come on.
That was his rookie season. Last year he only had
Well,
20.
that makes sense.
12 interceptions. That was slightly up at 3,800
Want to
yards.
see where he finished?
See how many sacks he got last year. He was getting because I was considering Higgins.
Now, guys, I think he can bounce back. Let's not get defensive of our Ohio State brethren
He
here.
played for High State. I didn't know that.
Wow.
The Ohio State, please show some
I
respect.
didn't.
Wow.
No,
Learn something every day.
that's crazy. That you didn't know that.
Who would have thunk it?
Here, we're gonna look it up.
You get a silent keyboard. Those are nice.
That's a silent.
You ever see the silent keyboards? They're nice. Yours is like click, click.
Wow, he was sacked
Do some
52.
ASMR.
He was sacked 52 times. Holy crap!
Yeah, they have no offensive line.
Or he was holding on to the ball.
No,
Well, it couldn't be.
I've seen him play. Bro,
Second most in
Wear
the league.
glasses.
Bro, look at big screen TV.
Second most in the league. Wow, I did not realize that.
Wow,
Yeah,
he was under duress.
Did they? Maybe could they have drafted offensive lineman in the second round, or
Guys, come on, man.
Their tight ends, their starting tight end is getting old as hell. I don't know if they're going to use Cade more. He hasn't flashed anything in the few times he's out there. But
Who?
I do like
Oh, okay, yeah. Hold on.
I do like the fact that he will probably start because Nico's always hurt. Delcourse got hurt, and even before this injury, he was always hurt. Every receiver they've had seems to miss 3 games just for fun.
They did take a offensive lineman, Arante Ursary, offensive tackle out of Minnesota. So that should cover up the blind side for CJ.
What round?
Second round, yeah. They had 2 second-round picks.
So C.J. Stroud finished as QB 18.
I mean, it's hard to throw a pass when you're on your rear. I mean,
Well, I guess we'll.
You can't hang your ball that much.
All I was saying is that there was going to be regression, and there was. Can I get a little credit on our own damn show?
you get a little bit of credit.
Wow.
Because Drake May, you were complaining
It was a
about,
big call.
He had 30 sacks and
34.
His teams,
And
and his
your
team sucked.
and your quote
He
was he got
sacked-
sacked a lot.
He got
My
sacked
no, my
50
quote was he
times.
turned the ball over a lot more than I thought he did. It was actually my
50
original quote.
times and still made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Why are you guys meat riding so hard? I just said that he finished QB 18.
Are we glazing too much? Is that
Yeah, you're glazing for reals. I'm saying, coming into the season, we were talking about AR-15, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and C.J. Stroud.
I never talked about that.
I'm saying that's
when
what
I was on the show. Oh wait, no, I wasn't.
You aren't.
I wasn't
That
on
the scuttlebutt was that he was up there with those guys and he finished QB 18. I think I deserve a little bit of credit
So
for that
name
call.
the other guys and where did they finish? Because AR wasn't even on the field at the end of the year.
No, AR was bad.
Yeah, okay. So
But Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, 1-2. And then who else was there? It was Jalen Hurts who finished QB8.
yeah.
That was the other consensus top guy.
With a Super Bowl team.
But why are you defending this? It's
CJ.
not. Guys, relax.
DJ, he's our
It's
one
crazy,
hope.
man.
Listen, he's our one hope for.
No,
I
you
think
got
you-
Justin
I
Fields.
think you should take a
If
sip
he-
of the
if he
story
gets-
and
It's
just
empty.
calm
If he
down.
gets sacked 30 times, he's a top 10. He's at
Okay.
number 10. He's sitting at 10.
You think so?
He's sitting at 10.
Okay. I hope he bounces back. All I said was that's the only question mark I have.
You seem like
for
a
the
guy
wide
that
receiver.
drafted him. He's on your team, and you were
Me?
pissed last year.
I didn't have him because I called for him to not be good. So why would I have him?
Well, you would have drafted him the year before, though.
No, I didn't.
You would have.
Drafted Bryce Young. Long play. Worked out.
I did.
He had a better season than C.J. Stroud.
He had a better 6 games, yeah.
He had a better fantasy season.
Yeah.
Let's look it up. Where? No, maybe he didn't.
Oh, wait, wow.
Well, let's see. No, well,
You're gonna edit that whole first part out.
no,
and say
I'm
you
not.
did
Oh, so he wound up finishing. He finished 20. But he played 3 less games, so suck on that.
that. So he's not durable.
No, he got benched.
'Cause
So
he's not durable.
he got benched. Rocky can't laugh because he just talked up his first guy saying how good Bryce Young was down the stretch.
I like Bryce Young.
His playing ability is not durable, is what I was trying to say.
That's not
before
something that
cut
you
me
were
off.
saying. All right.
First of all, I don't know if playability is a word.
Playability. It is
Ability
here.
is gotta be a word.
It's a word in, I think, Madden. Yeah.
All right, so who do you got?
I like Bryant from Denver.
That's a guy. What's his first name?
Pat. So it might not be a guy.
Pat? Pat. You look like Pat. I'm sorry. Hey-yo.
Anyway,
Is that short for Patrick?
I'm assuming.
Or Patrice.
Not patty cakes. Maybe
All right, tell us about Pat
patty cakes
Bryant.
O'Brien.
Wow.
Denver, young quarterback.
That's right.
He's got to be searching for somebody. Sutton's 31 this year.
Is he
Fine.
31?
Yeah,
Wow, man. I did not
No.
realize that.
Where'd you get that from, The Onion?
I made it up.
He's not 31. There's no way. He's like 27, 28 tops.
27.
He hasn't been around that long.
It's his final year of his contract.
He's 29.
29. So he'll be 30 this season.
He's actually older than I thought. I thought he was
Yeah, I
27.
thought he was like
yeah.
27, 28. Oh,
So it's 30 this season.
we don't know that still.
It's a long season. You're telling me.
He's going to be 30.
He's going to be
gonna
30 at some point.
He's going to be
The
30.
NFL season
He
is
could have
like
just turned
9
29.
months. No.
Okay.
Look at the month.
All right,
It
for
shows the
your...
month.
No, it doesn't. Not right here.
Final year of his contract. He's old.
Yeah, there you go.
In NFL time.
He was good,
Even
pretty good
20.
last year, but yeah. What do you mean?
His birthday is October 10th.
See?
So he's
He's
he'll
going to be 30.
he'll be
Fast.
yeah.
It's coming fast.
It's just going to end right there, that cliff.
Let me see. He had 81 grabs, 1,000 yards.
A decent number of touchdowns.
8 touchdowns. They really didn't get cooking to the second
there's-
half of the
there's-
season.
there's also
I don't think he has to be
extra
bad.
week.
I don't think he has to be bad for your guy to be good.
No, I
So,
think that they've been looking for
they
this.
traded away Jerry Jeudy. I think this makes sense.
And they've been looking for this kind of wide receiver for a while. Good compliment. I think he is different. So yeah,
Oh, for sure.
Back to my
Yeah.
other points. The other two receivers, kind of crappy.
Well, there you go.
They have no quality running back. They're putting all their eggs into the UCF guy.
Did they draft a guy?
RJ
Yeah, you see.
Harvey.
RJ Harvey.
He's
Mark
got a
is
chance.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Mark is really high in him, but my only fear about RJ is a little bit undersized.
Yeah, and you hate that.
I like a big running
Yeah.
back. You know that.
So you got a rookie running back, nobody else. 6'2", but he's quick, and he's a route runner.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick. I don't think that the rest of the offense has to suck for him to be good. I think, on the contrary, in the Sean Payton offense, if everybody else is productive, I think he'll be productive. So I'm hoping, for your sake, that those guys don't suck so hard.
Yeah. Probably what's going to happen is Sutton's going to have an amazing first part of the season, a couple month and a half, and then
Snap his
October
leg in
10th, October 10th, he turns 30.
Turns 30,
and
it's all over.
He suddenly's,
We'll come back to this.
Stephon Diggs.
All right, so obviously the elephant in the room is nobody mentioned Mr. Heisman, Travis Hunter. Why?
Yeah.
Who wants to go first? Why no Travis Hunter on your list?
Both of us are very thinly disguised Cleveland Browns fans.
Very thinly.
I
well,
was
not that
like,
thinly.
I did try to disguise it. But
I did. Like, I would not have hated if the Browns selected him. I do think that
I would have hated it.
Yeah, and I get that. I do think that there's a chance
he
that
was on suicide watch. I
No,
can't
no,
say that.
I did
He was on
think-
unalive watch.
I do think he has a possibility to be a generational talent. I do, because I do think that he as a receiver man, he just got open. Like, he got open with a quarterback often scrambling for his life. I do think he's a good route runner. He absolutely has the speed, has the hands. My fear about Travis is he's going to a team with an okay quarterback situation. We haven't seen Trevor ever break out yet. With a great, maybe the second best rookie wide receiver from last year, who has everything: size, speed, great hands. So what's the highest I can hope for? Do I hope for 60 receptions?
Yeah.
And that's great, and maybe he might get a couple interceptions or some pass, but depending on if your league allows defensive points, depending on how they classify the guy, are they going to classify him as a wide receiver or cornerback? No one knows. So that's why, like, from a fantasy standpoint, even though I think he might be a great player, I don't know that he's somebody that I'm comfortable drafting high.
Anything?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I don't think he'll get the touches. And that's where the percentage of chances of him getting the receptions will go down, because he's got to, if the other team just did a long drive and he's out of the field, grind after grind, and he comes off, they're not going to put him in the first couple sets. If they get a couple first downs, they might wait. There's no point of rushing him on the field if you're in the 20. I don't think there's a reason to put him in there when he just got off the field. So his percentages aren't going to be good. He's fast, but he's not super fast. He's just a ball hawk. He's got the mentality that I like. The ball's in the air, that's my ball.
Yeah.
And that's why I think you don't think he could play both ways in that position. But I think that's the best one, because he plays DB like a receiver, and that's why he was so good, because he runs the routes, because he knows the routes that a college receiver isn't going to know. And he was taught to be a DB by one of the greatest of all time.
Let me ask both of you guys a question, though. So what's the best you hope for? Do you hope that they use him as from a fantasy perspective, do you hope they use him as a full-time wide receiver and maybe 20 plays at nickel or outside corner? What's the best you hope for?
75-25 offense, because they're going to be playing from behind a lot. That division, they're third. But if they're playing from behind, like, is most of junk points for their quarterback.
Trevor. We call him Bronco.
Who every year, I mean, he could be,
Stampede.
We call him
giving
Stampede
up on.
here.
I mean, the guy's just not produced down the stretch. They keep looking like they're a playoff team, but then they fall apart. So if they need to shut one side down, I think they would protect him more by putting him on the offense.
Yeah. Well, I like the point you made about him getting back on the field right after a defensive.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yep.
I'll start this off by saying that I, for the record, agree with you guys. I don't think that I would love to have him, because I don't think his value is in that he could play both sides of the ball, not so much that he's the best on either side of the ball. And you'd have to draft him really high because he plays both sides, which is why I don't want to draft him in fantasy, because of his name. There's like 5 guys in your league that are going to want to take him.
Steve, I mean,
with the
we're in a
second
league
pick,
with
right?
Steve Wise is
Well, he's a Jags fan, so that's a no-brainer. But
He's a
guys are just
Jag-off.
going to want to take him.
That helps us.
He's going to be too rich, right? It's too much. Like, I'm not taking him where I need to take him to have him. So automatically he's out of it for me. But the small pushback I'll give, like, and this is, let's say he's not so hot out of the gates and you could trade for him somehow. Evan Ingram is out of town. Christian Kirk out of town. They have BTJ, but they're going to try to throw the ball. So I still think that he could have a pretty. I mean, we've seen Christian Kirk thrive in that offense with Trevor Lawrence. So I think that he could be productive. So
And he could be a touchdown guy.
somehow you get your hands on him like 3 weeks into the season because he sucks. I don't think it's the worst idea to have him for the stretch run, and maybe he pops off late.
Yeah.
And you have him for a couple years in Dynasty. It's not a bad thing.
But as a Giants fan, and it's odd because he did not want the Browns to draft him.
No, I didn't want him.
I was worried, yeah, and you were happy with Carter, and I think that like states who in the NFL has ever played two
Because it's a
positions?
little gimmicky, yeah.
Yeah, Gamble, he tried it. He was really a cornerback who played a little bit of wide receiver in the NFL. Didn't do great in either.
I see. Like I told you. I'm sorry. I told you last week. Gruden was talking about it. How they had drafted Charles Woodson. It was a guy that won a Heisman.
Yeah.
Wanted to play receiver, but he just couldn't. It's like there's too much work to be done on a defensive install to be from meeting to meeting, learning. It's a lot. So
Well,
I think
especially
small
where he
packages, like you said, like he's used to small packages, they'll be put in there for him, and it's going to affect him on both sides of the ball. I think, diminishing returns. I think in fantasy overall, but if you could get him at a discount, then it might be worth it.
He's never been hit going over the middle like he's going to be hit in the NFL.
Well,
That's true.
and he's a slight guy. Like
He's
he's only
very
about
slight.
185 pounds. My question is like, okay, so you asked me the question about where would I take Tetaroa.
Yeah.
Where do you take Travis Hunter?
Ooh.
Because to me, when I was listing who I wanted, he did not come up to the second round.
I think oh wow, that's crazy. So I would have him around where I had Tetaroa. 8.
So back
what
half.
he said, 8 to 12.
Back quarter.
Because
of the
this
round.
is dynasty. So like, can I see him having carved out a nice role in a year or two? Yeah, and you have him under contract in a dynasty, and I mean he's talented. So if he starts figuring it out, he's going to be productive. So I don't hate him there. I like him better. I think long term, I probably like him better than Tits McMillan, just because I think he's a better prospect overall. So I'd probably take him around the same place.
I don't know. I'm all up in the air about this because I feel like he is his best hope is that he adds about 10 more pounds.
Which he can.
Yeah, he will. And figures out the wide receiver position when he's not playing against BYU and Colorado State in the NFL and becomes a really good fantasy wide receiver. That's my hope. My hope is that he figures it out about 2 or 3 hits in, that maybe I don't want to play both ways. Like maybe for my longevity, it's better if I pick a position.
So I think long term he could be better than Tits because his tits get old, his numbers could sag.
He's slow,
Yeah.
Tits is Mike Evans, a little bit slower.
And year 2, he's going to have to realize, hey, I need to either be a gimmick on the secondary, come in, kind of surprise the other team.
Yeah.
Hey, Travis Hunter's out there.
Something to worry about, yeah.
To be in both film rooms, trying to understand, he's going to be 13, 14-hour days
Yeah, it's crazy.
at the football facility every single day.
Stuff is going to suffer.
Now, they do say that he is, that's his life. His life
Yeah,
is
but
football.
it's
I heard his
college.
girlfriend's
College
a
is
little
different
cuckoo,
than NFL. Yeah.
That could hurt him.
I mean,
Yeah, I think it's a different
say
beast in
that
the
about
NFL.
any of our
What
spouses.
they're doing,
Our
what they're doing,
girlfriends.
what they're doing for game plan, in college is not what they're doing in the NFL. So,
Did you get
Yeah, I
hit with lemon squirt? What's up with that?
nah, I'm tired. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling it out, man. It's real cool. All right. So, any parting thoughts? Any strong thoughts you want to give to the audience since you're a guest today? Before we go,
first time.
This has been amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, amazing, because I never see you guys often, except Rocky, but he's usually in the dining room.
Don't get mushy,
Doesn't
man.
come say hi.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Last
He
time I
does
saw
miss.
you,
He does
saw-
talk about Phil a lot.
Yeah.
So
Tears up a little bit.
Okay.
It
Well,
was nice to see you at the basketball game. So I'm happy I could fill in the seat for.
yeah. Hey, I think it
his name?
went well.
I like how he's got the wide seat. It's
He
kind
does.
of nice.
Well, it
Yeah,
wasn't
you
why when we
fit.
bought it. Sorry.
I got room.
Yeah, these are comfortable. All right, well, guys, that's the show. I thought, were you done?
Well, I
Felt like you had another one to go. I'm sorry.
Another
A
couple.
no,
another
no.
couple
No, I
slams
tried to
on
finish
Mark.
few more salvos.
I just wish Zach was here, but hey,
Oh, which
Jack
is that?
Barons, yeah.
Marin?
Pasquale?
Oh, he's
Duh.
never been here.
Yeah,
All right.
never
So
heard.
that's the show. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever we put up a new episode. We are officially, I double checked today, back on Apple Podcast.
hey,
we are on
hey.
Spotify at GON
2025.
Podcast, on TikTok, Instagram, Guys on Network, Guys on Sports, Guys on Draft. Please give us some love.
Yeah,
we
we
need
can
it.
hear those. I can hear that money coming.
We're at MySpace.